Hi, I'm Katie Hacker, and one of my favorite crafting inspirations is animals, birds, and all sorts of living creatures. They come in all shapes and sizes, colors, and textures. Like this owl. He could be perched in the woods near my house. And this little guy is really fun to make by layering a lot of different elements together. So you're going to start out with some sand and some felt. You'll need a few buttons and eyes. You'll also want to have a couple of colors of burlap, a styrofoam board, and some thick craft glue. Then you're going to need some things from around the house. So shelf lining paper is great because we're going to make some stencils with that. And then you might also want to cover a piece of cardboard with plastic wrap or use a craft mat because we're going to use some sticky mixing of glue and sand. So it's going to be fun. And to get started, what you'll do is print out the pattern of the owl. You can print this out from our website, then lay it on your styrofoam board. And to cut your foam board, always use a plastic craft knife. And I'm just going to move this off my table here while I cut. So I have this pretty close to the edge here. Now I'm just going to use a sawing motion to cut this corner off. So you'll cut all the way around your pattern. All right, and cut this guy out. So I'll move this one out of the way. Now you can see this one is finished. And to get these nice soft edges, what I did was used a piece of my extra styrofoam to just sand along the edges. And that makes it nice and smooth. So anytime you're using foam, you can do that to soften the edges. All right, so the next thing you want to do is cut some felt strips. And these are to cover the edges. So you have a piece of brown felt, and you can use the edge of your owl to measure and mark to make some strips. And this is just about 1 inch. Okay, so you can use your marker here. And then we'll cut these out too. And you'll just want to have enough of these to go all the way around your owl. So I already cut a few of these out. And to glue them on, you just want to lay a bead of glue along the edge here. And just, you know, it's a pretty thick amount, but not a whole pile. Press this into place and press it down. And the surface of the foam kind of holds it in place, and you can let that dry. You want to do this all the way around the edge of your owl. Put this one. Now, I have one here that's already been covered around the edges. So you can see how finished it looks on the sides. Now the next thing we're going to do is embellish the surface. So you can use your piece of scrap foam to spread glue across the surface of the owl. So now just use this kind of like a brush to brush it on here, like that. And then you're going to press burlap onto this. Now you want to be sure to cover the whole surface of the owl. And of course, you'll be more careful, you'll take more time, just so I can get this to you fast. This is how you do it. So now you're going to lay your burlap on top. Press this all down and let it dry. Okay, then you're going to trim around it so you have a layer of burlap over the surface. Now, if you want to add some extra texture, then this one is already cut out. I would just glue another piece on top. And that would also cover up that whiteness a little bit more. Okay, so now we're going to make some wings. And to do that, what we'll have to do is mix up some glue and sand. So put about a cup, half cup to a cup of sand into a little container and pour in a bunch of craft glue. And we're going to start mixing that together to get a nice consistency. And this is going to create some texture for our wings. So we need to add some more glue here. Mix this up. And remember I mentioned about that stencil? A fun way to make stencils is using some shelf lining paper. So you can use a pattern to make some wings. So you'll take your shelf lining paper, trace onto it from the pattern, and then cut it out. Now, of course, you can remove the back of this. That's what's great about it for stencils, and it's sticky on the back. So press it all down onto a piece of turquoise burlap. And I'm working over my covered surface. Now you're ready to start spreading your sandy glue mixture onto the wing. And this gives you a lot of texture. So it's also fun when it dries. You can really see that it looks very dimensional on your owl. So just spread this all over your stencil. You want to spread a nice even layer. And then we're going to set that aside to dry. So you would just spread kind of a thick cake batter over the top. Okay, then you're going to set this aside to dry. And I have one that's already dry, so I can show you what it looks like. It just looks like this. When you peel away your sticky back paper, you have this left behind. Now we're going to trim this out a little bit, and you just go around the edges. And this gives you, again, some more texture. It leaves a little bit of a border around the edge, just like that, so that you can, make it look even more like a feathery wing. All right, so keep cutting those out, and then we're going to have a bunch of elements to layer onto the top of the owl. We have our wings, and you can attach those to the side like that and glue them on, and then you want to do your face. So for the face, you're going to need 2 circles of each color, layer these on top, and you're going to do some buttons and glue together your Google eyes on top. And of course, you can add some green feathers there to the belly by using the same stencil technique and some sand. And all of our instructions are online, so be sure to check those out.